at the Juice Beauty Farm with Karen Behnke. She is the founder, CEO, creator of Juice Beauty, which is an organic line of makeup and skincare and now supplements. And we just took a tour around the farm with her wonderful husband, Howard, who showed us all the grapes and showed us how they are working with UC Davis to create the first grapes that are really designed to work exclusively or for skincare. So the antioxidants in them will help to make the skincare just the first of its kind. And so thank you for sitting down with me today. Thank you for inviting
Cassandra.
us here. And we covered so much, but maybe give us some insight into how this line came to be, and what was your first product, actually?
Well, good questions. I came from the health and wellness field, so the company was born out of wellness, actually. And so I started one of the first health and wellness companies in the country in the early 1980s, and it ended up selling that company to Pacificare, which now is United Healthcare, and so on, and then was very involved in 24 Hour Fitness as a board member, and so really had specialized in health and fitness for 20 years and knew quite a bit about nutrition and fitness and wrote a lot of columns and was a triathlete, and yet I had never ever picked up a beauty products label and read a label until I was pregnant with my babies in my 40s. So, I was working a little hard, and I didn't meet my husband until my late 30s. So, had my babies in my 40s, and, I started being concerned about everything that I was putting on my body, too. And here I was so hyper-focused on nutrition and fitness, yet the first time I read a beauty products label from the drugstores that I had, or high-end department stores, or anything in between, I was shocked. And I thought, oh my God, endocrine disruptors, hormone disruptors, synthetic dyes and things that have been banned from our food for years, and so on and so on, and so I thought I can do it better. So studied it for quite a while, and the concept was originally, I thought, after studying it, I thought, wow, most beauty products start with butylene and propylene glycols, and then they put some powerful ingredients in it. So the conventional chemicals, a lot of glycols, a lot of petroleum, and then super powerful ingredients, and a lot of those products work, but not what I would want to do. And then the naturals, a lot of water, and then some good ingredients. So I thought, well, what if we filled with organic botanical juices? Thus the name Juice Beauty, and organic grapeseed and aloe and jojoba and shays, and then put vitamin C and peptides from sunflowers and anthocyanins and stearostilbenes from blueberries, etc., in them, so that every organic drop feeds your skin, and that with powerful ingredients, so that our results would be equal or be better than conventional chemical brands. And that's what we did. That's what I set out to do. And then we're 14 now, and at about year 5 or 6, our professional clinical studies either met or equaled conventional chemical brands. So that was pretty exciting for us.
That's amazing. And you're here in California, and so everything is created and manufactured here. It's not something that's overseas.
No.
And it is truly organic. You have the certifications, right? And then you work with EWG.
We do.
That's where I first heard about you guys.
Yeah, we do work with EWG. So we follow the California Organic Products Act, and that requires it actually translates to every state in our country, because if you sell online, then you have to follow those guidelines, and it requires 70% or greater total organic content, so total certified organic ingredient content, and excluding water. So every one of our products is anywhere from, I'd say, probably 72% to 98% organic. And for instance, our zinc, our well-known stem cellular CC creams, they're 20% zinc, which is a mineral. And then about,
Let's talk about the zinc, because a lot of times, that ingredient is brought up, with in the sunscreens, and you know, a lot of people avoid it because they don't know what they should be avoiding. So is there a good and there a bad zinc, or different kinds of zinc that are not?
Well, I haven't heard of a lot of people avoiding zinc, but I have heard of a lot of people avoiding sunscreens because they're afraid of what's in them.
Like zinc oxide and zinc.
Well, it's all zinc oxide,
Okay.
but zinc is a mine mineral, and it sits on top of your skin. So, and we don't use although that's probably what it is. The nanoparticles. Yeah, I see. I forget about this because we would never do that. You know, it's so funny when someone will say, "Well, you know, are you using FSC paper?" I said, "Of course we use it. Why wouldn't we? You know, and you don't talk about it. Well, why would we do anything differently? You know." So anyway, same with zinc. We do not use nano particles that absorb into the bloodstream. We only use micro. So, but we've gotten it refined to the point where it's just beautiful, and we've done it to get the slip and feel with grapeseed and coconut alkanes. But back to sunscreen. So oxybenzone, avobenzene, and there are about 5 chemical sunscreens that are normally in beauty products. And up until probably, I'm going to say, probably 3 or 4 months ago, a lot of people would say, well, there's only one sunscreen that's actually harmful. And then the Journal of American Medical Association came out with a pretty detailed article that talked about how from day 1 to day 7, chemical sunscreens absorbed into the body at too high levels, to the point of where the FDA said they were going to study it. If you know how busy the FDA is and how they're not that involved in beauty, you know that means that it was pretty bad. So, and then put that on top of Hawaii banning all chemical sunscreens over a period of years. And, you know, so zinc is healthy for humans. It's healthy for the reef. Chemical sunscreens has started killing the reefs in, you know, Hawaii and all around the world. So it's, you know, really. So yeah, microparticle zinc is the way to go for sure.
Okay. The reefs all over the world are affected by the other ingredients that are in the sunscreens. And so yours is safe to use even in any body of water. And so what happens, so zinc, because I mean, some people take zinc as a supplement, right?
They do, yeah. It's in a lot of vitamins. It's just a mineral, part of a rock. It'll just sink if a particle gets in there, like a rock at the bottom of a pond.
Okay.
So it doesn't harm fish, and it doesn't interfere with their pheromones. And you know, a lot of these chemicals are getting our frogs and fish and things to change sexes. I mean, you know, something's wrong. So it's Okay. So it's helpful.
And so, and it also doesn't pollute the water or the air.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that is so critical. Now, you know, I think a lot, hopefully, and we call it win-win-win with Juice Beauty and building a sustainable organic company, and that you win with powerful skincare results, you win with vibrant makeup, that's one win, and then you win with what you put on your skin is healthful for what's absorbing, because your skin does absorb what's put on it. Let's talk about that a little bit too. But then the third win for people like you and me and other people that care, they're environmentalists,
and animals.
And it runs off. It runs off into our oceans, it runs off with our animals, it runs off into the ponds, and you don't want all those chemicals running off, like all the microbeads in the Great Lakes, weighing all the fish down, on and on and on. Cheers, by the way.
Yeah, cheers.
These are our grapes.
We are sitting outside. We hear the wind, and we have this recorded, and we are starting to now do a lot more video interviews. So if you guys are interested in seeing the scenery here, which is so gorgeous, head over to our Instagram or our YouTube page so that you can see some behind the scenes. We will post this on there as well. So make sure you guys go check out the photos and the videos because there's a ton. It'll be linked in the show notes. So anyways, so what was the hardest thing that you faced when creating the products, and what did you say the first one was that you thought you needed?
So after a basic cleanser and moisturizer that we came out with, which is still part of our Daily Essentials collection, we came out with our green apple peels. And what I wanted to prove that we could have powerful results. And in the early days when I went to all those beautiful magazines in New York for desk side visits, Allure and Vogue and Insta, all those beautiful magazines, a lot of these wonderful editors that I'm very friendly with now would say, Karen, I know this is good for you, but come on, is it really going to work? And I'd always leave our full strength green apple peel. And I'd say, just try that exfoliating peel mask at night, and you just call me back. And they would inevitably go, oh my God, that is powerful. My face was on fire or something in a good way. It really exfoliated. And I said, there you go. These ingredients work and they come from nature, most of them. So it was pretty exciting. So our green apple peels put us on the map. And then Kate Hudson, which we talked about a little bit earlier, she wrote about us in Harper's and Elle in 2007 and said she was really looking into more natural beauty, and she was using Juice Beauty's green apple peel. And of course that was huge for us in 2007 because we just started in 2005. So it was all that really that green apple peels put us on the map.
Great. And I can speak as a makeup lover and a professional. When I tried the foundation, I mean, that for me was like game changing in terms of all of the foundation and concealers that I had been using all up into that point.
Yeah.
So I really love the makeup. I love the entire line. Like, it's all great. And so I was so excited. And I didn't really even realize that there was all these skincare lines that you have for the blemish and acne prone skin and the problematic, and then you have the anti-aging line. So it's so nice to see the different varieties for different skin types, because that's something that a lot of cleaner brands really have trouble with,
right.
and getting it right too.
Right.
But you definitely stand out by having organic products. So what is the difference between an organic foundation and a regular clean foundation, or a foundation that's claiming to be clean?
Well, the good news is I don't spend a lot of time looking at our competition or and quite frankly, we're in some pretty big retailers like Ulta Beauty and Sephora Canada, and so we're competing with people that are labeling themselves clean. Some of them have pretty good ingredients and others don't, but we compete a lot with mainstream conventional big brands, and so we keep a bit of an eye on those a lot. But natural ingredients, there's not really a regulation for that. So I think there's some pretty good natural brands that know their farmers probably and pay attention to where they're sourcing. And then there are other brands that just are trusting, ingredient suppliers, and if it says, lavender or something, it's like, okay, I'll take it. Well, maybe heavily sprayed lavender or something, and who knows where, is it coming from China? Where's it coming from? So we try to be as close to our supply chain as possible. So, really the difference between natural and organically farmed ingredients is pesticides and how they're farmed. And then we take all of our eco values a step further, in that we try to source as much as possible from our organic green apples in Washington State, straight down through Northern California to the Valley of California. We do get our plant pigments for our vibrant liquid lip here. We got these vibrant colors. We get those from Europe. We can't get crushed rose petals sustainably sourced from anywhere else. But we try to get as much as possible from the Western United States, so we don't have to ship as far and everything. And now we're taking it further too, that we're going to Resin Tubes. All of our samples are now Resin Tubes. We've converted almost everything.
What is that?
It's made with plant glues. So it's a lot of plant glue in them instead of toxic glue. And so we're really excited about that. And then we're using, we've used plant-based dyes for a really long time. And then we've used FSC paper forever. We use as much glass as possible. And with some of our best sellers and our stem cellular collection, we're now looking at molds to use post-consumer recyclable plastic. So, and we're using a company in LA that picks up plastic around LA. And they pick it up off the streets and the beaches and et cetera, and they recycle it, and we're making molds so we can, like our exfoliating peel spray, you'll see the bottle change a bit. It's not quite as beautiful, but when we tell the story, I think people will be thrilled about it, because it'll be about 85%-ish recycled plastic, so cleaned up off the streets, purified in a good way, not with toxic chemicals, no hexane or any of that, and then formed into our molds.
Okay. And so for most of the listeners, I feel like we're all kind of just figuring out what organic and clean and green and all of this means. So when you say FSC certified paper, what does that mean and why is that important? And how would anyone find this in a store?
Yeah. So I believe it stands for Forward Stewardship Council, and we've used it for so long I haven't even paid attention. But it's FSC paper. If you use a printer, that guarantees that you use. They look for the most sustainable paper source at any given time. So they're either replanting the forests or they're generally it's a replanting type of operation. So it's they really care for the earth, and there's strict guidelines with it. So we've used that forever. Mm-hmm. So either recycled paper or replanted.
Okay,
that's covered.
Yeah, and then for the bottles, you were saying the plant glue. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I will be able to shortly, because we've got a whole presentation coming in so we can learn more about it. But the more, it's funny because we've always used, and this is getting into such detail, but that's what we're interested in.
Yeah.
So, we've always used the most recyclable plastic, but then you have to find out how it's processed. And so, to date, most plastics are pulled together with a lot of glues that aren't very healthy for the environment, or that we don't even want in our tubes. Yeah. So bioresin is they've created, these companies have created plant-based glues, just like plant-based dyes came out about a decade ago, and it's pretty exciting. And I can also just talk about plant-based glycerin that we use.
Okay.
Because just when you think about the ingredients in the bottle too, getting the textures of all of our products have been so challenging. So year after year, we would have to find an ingredient that would perform as well or better than a conventional chemical ingredient. So for instance, when you put moisturizer on, you might be feeling all those dimethicones and silicones rubbing all over your body, and they feel good because they're little tiny plastic things, right? Or whatever they are. And so we didn't want to use those, and so we got coconut alkanes and grapeseed to mimic that slip and feel. And the coconut alkane is a slippery part of the coconut, and so, but it's not only makes it feel luxurious, but it's good for your skin. So it has, it's not just something that feels good to trick the consumer into buying it and then it runs off. It's good for it's feeding your skin. So everything we use, we want to feed the skin. Maybe other than preservatives, and we use food grade preservatives. So because you have to.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And why do you think that? Why do you think that other companies, especially larger ones, are not following in the footsteps or creating their own organic products with better ingredients because we know that they're better for us?
It's too hard.
It's hard, right?
It's too hard. And, when I talk to the big companies, they always go, we benchmark your products. And I'm like, great. We're following you. But they can't, first of all, they've got a huge supply chain system set up. And so to change that is difficult. And then secondly, when I went into this world, I went door to door to a lot of chemists, and they slammed the door in my face. And they said, we're not going to use organic juice. Are you kidding me? Forget it. We don't want it in our lab. I'm going to have to get a freezer, blah, blah, blah. And I finally talked one chemist into working with me if I bought him a freezer. So that was awesome. But it's hard to change behavior, and it's also hard to change a whole supply chain. For instance, with oils, they've been pressed with pretty toxic type of chemicals forever, hexane, etc. And then cold pressing came out. So we make sure that we use cold pressed oil, so you don't have to use all those toxic chemicals. And so it's really hard to change the whole supply chain. And then your supply gets down to really tiny. So, for instance, the good thing for us is that Whole Foods, created this market for widely spread organic food. And so a lot of food suppliers stepped up for, some of the early players like Stonyfield Farms and, some of those types of food grade companies or organic companies. And so we would go to their suppliers, and we were often the only beauty brand they sell to. So they have all these organic food companies they sell to, and us. So the beauty group's coming.
Wow.
We get treated well because we're the only beauty group.
Awesome. So what, again, just for our listeners and my own peace of mind, what is the difference in cold pressing, and what does that look like? I mean, I'm sure you've seen this with your own eyes.
I have seen it, but it's hard to explain. But it's before it would literally be we take an oil like olives, so they would be smashed and then they would be treated right away with a lot of different chemicals, and they don't do that anymore. For instance, I'll just tell you about our grapes. I'll go back to the grapes because I've got pictures of them. They're so beautiful. When they take organic grapes, they immediately put a lot there's probably different ways of doing this, but our processor puts them in dry ice. So they don't have to use any chemicals to keep them from, I guess it would be oxidizing and things. And again, I'm not a chemist, so they, dry ice, and it's harder because you have to have vats of dry ice, and it's cheaper to just get some really cheap chemicals and throw it in. And then they always know the result is going to be the same too. When you have dry ice, you have to sometimes, you might lose 8 or 9 or 10% of the crop. So it's much harder. So that's an example of it comes off, it goes through, the grapes come off the vines, they go into a processor, they go into a stem separator, and then they're still pretty whole, and they come out, and then they're dumped into a vat of dry ice instead of a vat of kind of a chemical solution to wash them. And that's a perfect example.
Wow. Okay.
And it's also beautiful, by the way. And the dry ice just bubbling and steaming, and it's really stunning.
I think of like cold press. I think of like the juices being pressed out of it, but is that not how it works?
Well, so
is that the last
it depends on what they're going for. So then it goes to
the oils.
Well, it goes because sometimes it goes to oil, sometimes it goes to skins, sometimes it goes to the pulp, and then the juice, and then we actually also take. We're looking at taking a lot of the tannins, which come from the I guess the stems and the bark too, because we already use stem cells, and so we're going to be able to use every part of the grape pretty soon, and it all goes to a different machine to process. So you'll have to come up to the harvest and then watch it.
Trip.
It's really pretty, but they call the harvest a couple days before, so you can't. It's not anything that you can calendar because the farmers, which is now my husband, who's a cardiologist. They argue with the growers or the harvest people, and so it's grapes. They do it in the middle of the night to preserve the fruit, so because it's so hot here during the day.
So you'll see the owls out.
We will.
Okay.
Hopefully, grabbing those rodents that they're naturally grabbing for us.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Okay, so so this is a newer venture. The farm is new. There's still some construction going on. But tell us a little bit about the space, exactly where it is. We're in Healdsburg, so outside of Napa. I don't know what else we're close to. What are some nearby cities that people might know?
Geyserville, Cloverdale, Windsor. So if you go up, we're in Sonoma County. So if you go straight up 101 from San Francisco, you'll eventually hit Healdsburg. Mm-hmm. And it's really one of the most beautiful town squares and towns around. I mean, it's just chic and stunning and super cute. But this valley, Dry Creek Valley, which is what we're looking over right now, which is so stunning, is known for its kind of rocky slopes and long hot days and cool nights. So that stresses the grapes in a certain way that creates a really flavorful grape, but also high antioxidant grape, which was good for us. Then that coupled with there's a lot of sustainable farming here and a lot of organic farming here made it a huge plus for us, because we wanted to be around like-minded souls, but we also didn't want to be around glyphosate and Roundup, which is, I'm sorry, but I don't usually talk about companies, but Monsanto really has not done the world a favor.
No.
And so it just is when to harvest, what grape on our property is the highest in antioxidant levels, and then it comes to how we're going to process it. So to preserve the antioxidants. So it's going to be a big project.
Wow. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
It's interesting, right?
Yes.
It's so interesting.
So interesting and so different than what anyone else is doing. You're truly a pioneer in the organic beauty movement, and now with, you know, the antioxidants and just getting them from the grapes is so amazing. So what's next for you other than that? Do you have a new product coming out, a launch, or an event that's going to be any, like in December, January, February, like in this next new year? Do you have anything going on?
Well, I just got back from New York, and we just popped up in the middle of Bloomingdale's 59th Street, New York City, among all those big brands. So it's pretty exciting. We have a beautiful pop-up there for 30 days.
Congratulations.
So pretty much the rest of September. It's very exciting. And then as far as our distribution, other than that, it's just, you know, we focusing on Ulta's 1,200 stores and Sephora Canada's, you know, 90 stores or what have you. Mecca, we opened in Mecca, Australia, Neiman Marcus, Bloomingdale's, Blue Mercury. We kind of have our hands full. Credo, with our amazing distribution of Pharmaca, our wellness pharmacy, and Credo, you know, clean beauty store. So so we're focused on our retailers, and then we come out with 3 or 4 products a year. A couple skincare products and a couple makeup products. You know, we just came out with our anti-pollution prebiotics collection, and it's the first ingestible that we did. So this is a, you know, food grade organic supplement, and it is a pre and probiotic that is activated with fluid when you put it in 8 ounces of water or 8 ounces of organic coconut juice, milk. And then we have a matching antioxidant, which we got just a beautiful, beautiful gel texture. I mean, and again, gel is very hard for us to get because those synthetic ingredients and those petroleum ingredients really create gel-like textures. We did it through plant materials, and we were very happy with how it came out. And it's for basically pollution protection and hydration for, I would say, you know, teens, 20s, 30s. And then, of course, you step up to our stem cellular collection, our green apple collection, when you're in your 30s, 40s, and beyond. And then our signal peptides for firming.
So something like this that is a protectant of kind of the elements of pollution, right? So I think of the city, anyone who lives in a big city or is around all the pollution, but how does it protect from the pollution? Is it because it's a barrier, and how is it different than like a regular moisturizer? What's in it that helps protect against the pollution?
Well, so just to back up for 2 seconds. So, you know, we worked with Stanford's Microbiome Center is so incredible, and we really studied there. And I was fortunate to know the head of the Microbiome Center there, or the gentleman that started it. And so they gave us so much advice. It was incredible, and we went to a couple of their courses. And so, you know, what we want to do is protect the skin microbiome, just like you want to protect the gut microbiome. So what protects us from all the external aggressors and everything that's attacking us. So we used viola and coumaru, which is again, well, I'll tell you what, viola is in fact, we have a planet right over there. There's just, again, powerful anthocyanins and stereostilbenes in there that protect your skin from external aggressors. Then we used coumaru, which is a tree not grown in the United States. This is one of the ingredients that we don't get from the U.S. And it actually has a reflective power that reflects light. So that's why we got the luminosity for a beautiful skincare benefit. So, and then with our pre and probiotic.
Is that in a lot of the products?
No, it's just
this
one. Yeah,
I see it on your hand.
Yeah,
it is very
pretty?
reflective.
It's very reflective.
Wow.
And my gosh, I have old hands. You know? I mean, they're younger. I made them younger with our products, but you know, I'm in my 6th decade, so they've had a lot of wear and tear, you know, outside with sports and everything. And then our ingestible is a pre and probiotic, and it has a great level of vitamin C and the B vitamins. And then the water activates the probiotics to protect your gut microbiome. And we did some great clinicals on these together, which are on our website.
So do you recommend that you do one or more a day, one glass?
Probably one a day.
And will you see an immediate difference, or do you think you should go through a pack? And
I think it's a 2-week supply.
2
You know, you should feel refreshed, and your stomach should feel, you know, your gut microbiome should feel pretty good.
Okay.
And of course, your skin should feel luminous. And you know, beauty inside out is so important. And to me, coming from wellness, it starts with exercise and, you know, really getting that aerobic rush of exercise and where you're sweating and, you know, working all the toxins out of your body, and you're drinking a lot of water, and then proper nutrition, and then beauty products, and then of course proper sleep, which I've never been able to master.
Yeah.
Not good at that.
Okay, so when it comes to that, I kind of have a question about your balance and how you maintain all of this. You have a family, you have a farm, you have a beauty line, you're all over the world, or all of the US at least, but you're probably in other places too. So how do you maintain your work-life balance, or is there such a thing? And how do you do that other than not sleeping enough?
I don't sleep enough, and I never have. And you know, for a wellness person, I've been right out there telling everybody it's my worst health habit. I'm not a good sleeper. A lot of the sleep techniques have not worked on me, and I'm just not good at it. But someday I will be. I hope. But so for me, I mixed it all up with my family, and you know, when my kids were 5 and 7 when I started the company. And so they're now in college, and so it's a little bit easier. Although I talk to them all the time, they're in and out, and they're home, and they bring friends home and everything. So it's still a lot. And my husband, of course, had a busy cardiology career, but we did have some help and everything. But we did a lot. We just split it. We split a lot of the work, you know, and a lot of the carpooling and everything every single day. And we literally, though, didn't decide who was doing what till the night before. I always admired those parents that were planned out. We figured out at 10 o'clock at night for the next day. But our kids grew up in the business. My husband is, for the first time, involved in the business, managing the vineyard. But other than that, he's never been involved. But it's been a topic of dinner conversation every night. We have so many events. You know, when our daughter was, when Rachel was probably, by the time she was 10 or 11 or 12, she would come to some of the store events and dress up, and she'd love it, and she'd run to the back if we needed an extra stem cell or moisturizer or something, or, you know, if we were set up in front, we ran out of Desert Glow stem cell or CC cream. She knew the products well, so she'd run back and get them. And, you know, I'm sure someone would say that's child labor, but, you know, she loved being there for she loved it. And she was involved. Our son interned for probably 4 summers at Juice Beauty, and in the on the website, and, you know, all sorts of things. My husband, I bounce off all of our complex problems off of him, and so it's all messed up. And we go on vacations. If we go somewhere where Juice Beauty sells, inevitably for the first couple of days, I do a couple events. It's just how it goes. So it's been all mixed up with us, and that's the only way I knew how to do it. Our office, our headquarters, our sustainable headquarters, I put right between our home and the kids' schools, kind of the area, and, you know, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, so I could pop out to a play, pop back, pop out to serve hot lunch, pop back. So I mixed it all up. I never, you know, some people say they separate everything, work, life, boom, align. Never. It's been all messed up in our family.
Okay. And I'm sure everyone wants to know, that has their own beauty brand, myself included. How do you get your husband involved and excited about it?
You know, you have to marry the right person that is excited about your career. When I was growing up, I don't know what guys out there now are, but when I was growing up in my era, a lot of men didn't want women that had careers. And so I happened to meet, but then keep in mind, I waited till I was in my late 30s to get married and everything. But I waited to marry the right person, to someone that thought it was the coolest thing in the world, that I was an entrepreneur. And, you know, I guess given that he was in medicine also, he could have never felt competitive. If anything, he's like, you go, girl. and understands long hours, or understands when I have my laptop, up after dinner and things like that. So, but I have certainly dated, again, I don't know, maybe all the guys now are not like that, but I have dated in my 20s and 30s a lot, and you could always see the guys that just didn't want to deal with that, either competitively, or they didn't want to deal with
anyone else's schedule but their own.
Exactly. So you've got to pick the right partner that's going to celebrate it.
Yeah.
And not 100% of the time, but at least 90. Of course we all get upset sometimes about our spouse's schedule, or our boyfriend's schedule, or our fiance's schedule. But 90% of the time, boy, you better hope they're your biggest cheerleader, or it will never work. So,
wow. Well, you were inspirational. Thank you for sitting down and inviting us out here. I'm so excited to see what you do next and where you'll be. I'm thinking of a lot of my family back home, and I feel like there might be like a Nordstrom, but I know there's not Credo. I don't even think there's a Saks or a Bloomingdale's
what
there.
city? What, sorry.
They're in like Port Orchard, but they're out in. I mean, I guess they can go to
Seattle,
Seattle, but
yeah.
they can order online, right? And
Yes.
and your kind of main spot where you would send everyone is juicebeauty.com.
Juicebeauty.com.
Yeah.
We're in every Ulta in the country. There's Ultas all over Washington. Then of course Sephora Canada. There are Blue Mercury, a lot of Blue Mercury's, Credos are popping up everywhere. Pharmacos are in Washington. So there are a lot of places that you can buy Juice Beauty. We actually have an entry-level collection still in Whole Foods too, for daily essentials.
Okay.
So then we step it up to the powerful Age Defy and makeup and everything in our prestige stores.
Okay. So if you could have one product from your own line, and that was it, what would you use?
It's like Sophie's Choice. Yeah, so let's see. We think in cleansers, treatments, AMP and moisturizers.
Just one.
So I think if you could do one powerful Age Defy, I'd probably take the SPF 30 tinted,
right? That would be mine too.
Yeah.
You're kind of getting like 2, 3 in one. You got the correction, you got the sunscreen, you have the powerful kind of treatments.
Right.
You're kind of getting
everything
lot, so
in
one.
You use it in the
12
morning.
in one.
Yeah.
Multitasking. CC
You
cream.
would use it in the morning, and it's SPF 30 zinc, tinted. It's has our stem cellular Age Defy technology in it, and it's
you guys, an
awesome.
even skin tone. It smooths uneven texture. It creates a radiant, glowing complexion. It's rich in antioxidants. It protects you with SPF 30. It's a moisturizing. You get the color. It's mineral tinted, no chemicals, no nano, and then you have the broad spectrum and reduces fine lines and wrinkles. Like, what more could you ask for? I would say this would be mine too.
Yeah.
So I asked that because so many people are overwhelmed with what to do when they hear about a new brand or when they think about going clean, and this could be the first episode. So go out and try the Stem Cellular CC cream and try that, because it is such a nice, I have it personally. I'm wearing the regular foundation, but I have this one too, and it's so great. So I can vouch for it. I'm really excited to try the prebiotics. I've never really been a supplement person, a pill person. It's really hard for me to ingest pills, but I'm excited to try this, especially because it's organic. There's so many that aren't, and I've tried and I just never felt good, or I break out. So I'm really, really excited to try that. And then the lips, I love these. I didn't even know you guys had these.
Crayons. Yeah, this is like lip stain more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll send you some. And they're curated after Gwyneth's friends. So there's Kate, Blythe, Cameron, Drew, Apple, Gwyneth,
I love that.
Chelsea, and I'm forgetting somebody. Whoops.
Yay.
So beautiful.
So and you guys, you will get to experience these products if you ever book me for your makeup, for your wedding. There's Cameron here. What else? We got Kate, and what's this one? This one's Apple.
Her daughter. Yeah.
Oh, that's your daughter's name?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Yeah. Gwyneth's daughter, not mine. My daughter's name's Rachel.
Rachel, okay.
Yeah.
Love it. Does she have her product name on something yet?
Not yet. But I tell you, one of the reasons I named her Rachel was after Rachel Carson, who is a famous scientist that helped as a mom or no, I don't know if she's a mom. I'm sorry, just as an activist, helped eradicate DDT from the earth.
Oh wow!
So I mean,
that's insane.
Yeah, she's amazing, and everyone told her she was crazy. Everyone. It was way back when. And Silent Spring is a book that she wrote, and I was so motivated by that. And I read it in college that I just love the name Rachel, and it just for a couple reasons, but that's one of the reasons our daughter is named Rachel. But I want to thank you for spreading the word, or for being an environmentalist, for being on the sustainable committee or heading the sustainable committee that you are. And our conversation has been awesome. You get it, you understand, and you're spreading the word. So thank you so much. And we have to start somewhere.
Yeah, totally. So I was thinking about it, and Gwyneth Paltrow has Goop, right?
She does.
But you guys are like friends or work together. So I'm just
yeah,
how does that work? 'Cause most people would say, that's my competition, but it sounds very collaborative.
It's been collaborative.
So how?
She's been great. So we wanted, probably at this point 5 or 6 years ago now, we wanted someone that had a voice and someone that could put us on the map a little bit more, because we were at that point, heavily into skincare and really had a firm footprint there. But we had never done makeup. Little bits here and there, but not a makeup collection. And so it was very difficult to make that leap. So our board member, Amanda Elion, was friends with Gwyneth and an investor in Juice Beauty, and investor in Goop, and introduced Gwyneth and myself. And so Gwyneth and I decided for her to be our creative director of makeup for 3 years. And we had her beautiful face on our in our stores and everything, in posters. It was gorgeous.
Goop a part of? Was a Goop
and then Goop was in business, okay. And then we made a small skincare collection for her to get her started into skincare. Goop by Juice Beauty. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that
makes sense.
And that sells on Goop as well as in different stores. And then she was extremely instrumental in helping us design and really formulate our makeup collection. For instance, she really loved cream blushes, and she was as picky about the mascara as I was,
yeah.
And just
that's a tough one, actually.
Really hard.
Really love yours.
So she was just amazing at helping us. And then now our contracts run down, but she's a shareholder in Juice Beauty, and we're shareholders in Goop.
That's amazing. Okay, and then the Kate
I'm rooting for her, and hopefully she's rooting for us.
You have a lot of celeb influence, and then the Kate Hudson. How is that?
Hudson started using our products when she wrote about them in 2007, and actually I had one of those highlight moments. She invited me down to her house, and I sat in her bathroom one night, and she got a garbage can out, and we threw out everything that I thought had bad ingredients.
Oh my God, I just did that with my mom. I'm like starting, it's a thing.
Yeah.
People want to do it, and they're like, it's kind of like they're proud or they're freaked out. My mom was actually upset.
Yeah.
But now she's like thanking me.
Yeah.
It's a different conversation, but
really,
that is so cool that she allowed you.
She allowed me to do that. It was really a fun night. And of course, I gave her a ton of Juice Beauty, and she had some good brands there, so that we saved a lot, but a lot went in the trash can.
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm sure a lot of money went in the trash can.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who else are you working with?
Oh my gosh! Well, we've had amazing people. Well, Shailene Woodley just wrote about us in the New York Times, I think it was, or New York. I don't know the New York papers very well, but one of the big papers in New York. And Shailene Woodley, who's just, oh my God, the what's the Big Little Lies. Thank you. Oh my God,
our favorite.
I love that show.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. And right now it's like not on again.
I know.
It's like, oh my
I
gosh.
watched the final one. Oh my God. Anyway, so Shailene Woodley talked about how she loved Juice Beauty, and then we're always getting celebrities that use our products. I mean, we were just so honored that Michelle Pfeiffer gave us a huge award with Environmental Working Group, EWG, on Earth Day this year. I mean, it was so exciting, and she talked about how we helped pioneer the industry and how she loved our products and everything. So that was exciting too.
Where was that?
That was in San Francisco.
Okay.
It was so exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I missed out on that.
Yeah.
Okay, next year.
Yeah. Next year.
Well, yeah, thank you again. I mean, for the listeners, like before we even started recording, I was like, we should have been recording this entire thing. It would be a 4-hour interview, and we're going to continue talking, and it's not over. We'll definitely do a part 2, and we'll definitely come back and keep bringing you on, because there's just so much that we could talk about zinc for an hour. So So it's just so interesting. There's just so many layers to you and everything you're doing in your line and clean and green beauty and organic beauty. So thank you so much again. You're such a busy, powerful woman, and I'm so glad we got a chance to talk.
Thank you, Cassandra. Again, thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you so much. I can't wait to try your eyelashes.
Oh yeah, Lash Binder. We're gonna go do that right now. Alrighty.
Bye-bye. Oh, I don't think I can. But okay,
No, you
I'll
definitely
try. All
can.
right.
This is for you. So how you do it is you just look down into a mirror. So if it's flat against a wall,
Okay,
you
go
don't tilt
down.
your chin
Okay,
up.
so
But
you
if
go
you,
like this?
yep, if you have that, and you're just gonna measure the lash on top. So you
Okay.
see how you can see that the lash is too long.
Okay.
So you'll cut it down with the little handy scissors that we have. We'll cut about, I just call them knots,
Okay.
about 3.
Okay.
And remeasure to make sure. Just keep your eyes open, looking down, because if you move your eyes too much and they're closed, this cannot hurt you. This is just a silicone. So you'll just look down. You'll make sure that it's going to fit on top of your eyeline, and that's where it'll fit.
Okay.
You feel that right there?
Yep.
Right above your eyeline? That's perfect. So you turn it over, make sure it doesn't touch the table, wherever you're at, just to keep it nice and clean. You use the glue, and I think you can smell it. It's this isn't glue. So when you were talking about the plant glue, I was like really I really want to figure out how I can do that. So you leave that like that, and usually you'll leave it for like 60 seconds. The wind's blowing, so it'll be a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But usually while that's going on, you can cut down the other side.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. Cut about 3 knots off this one. And you can reuse these at nighttime when you're done. You'll just kind of just pull them off. It doesn't hurt or anything like that. It's such a thin line of glue that.
So you can't sleep in these, really? Do you?
I have.
Yeah.
You can. It won't damage anything.
Yeah.
But the lash might become bent and then you throw it away.
Yeah.
So you'll look down into the mirror the same exact way, and you'll just push it into your natural lash line, and then you'll open and release.
Oh my God.
And that's still drying, so as you can see, it's lifting
so
a little
blowing,
because the wind's blowing and it's not as ready as it could be. So, but you use the ends just like this. Instead of tweezers, you can kind of, do that. And you can also, once you're a little bit more comfortable, I know you're freaking out.
Yep.
Once it's a little bit more comfortable, then you can fuse your lash with this lash like this and fuse them together.
Okay.
But again, it's not something that will hurt or that should. And you can always use the ends to kind of just poke at it while the glue dries. And black, I would say, is a little bit more for advanced users. Because black is, because if you move it around, it, like the white, you're not going to see all of that.
Yeah.
Let me go grab. And don't move. So you want to keep looking down so that they can dry, because the glue is not that strong. So you want to just let it dry for, a minute or so. So let me get the other one ready. Just stay looking down. You can look down into the mirror, but just don't look up and around, because the glue will lift, right? And it won't be as, it won't stay on as well. It'll just kind of, that's perfect. Let me just make sure this one, I always just kind of play with it and make sure that it's going to be nice and tight on there on the ends. Because once
You're
the
such
ends,
a pro. I'm not freaking out with you. Normally I'm like,
oh yeah, well, I've done this, like I said, at Bottle Rock 1,000 times within 2 days. By then, I changed everything I was saying to people, my lingo, I had a 30-second pitch every single time, and every mom bought 2 or 3, and it became the last day we were okay, we're sold out. It was so great. But I learned so much by doing those.
And then to take them off when you're ready, you just kind of go like that.
Oh yeah, they just pop right off like you saw me do for the example earlier. Yeah, because it's such a thin line of glue, and it's again not that strong. They'll hold up in the wind and stuff. Here, you try it.
Oh Jesus.
It's okay. So just know that when you open it, that's when it releases.
Where do I put it? Right there?
Yep, a little bit lower. So you want to get it right snug in your eye line. So right in here, push, wiggle, and then open it and take it away.
You did it!
Oh my God.
You did it!
Are you sure?
Yep.
I don't know. Is it in the right spot?
So
No,
yeah,
and then I
you
go.
then you just use that exactly, and you just kind of like push it down a
You
little
don't have
bit.
to open it. Yeah.
Yeah,
just-
you can use
okay.
the ends. You can use it however. You can grab it. You can maneuver it around for 30 seconds until it dries.
Okay, that was pretty
Isn't that
easy.
great? And then you can fuse them together, like I said.
Telling
So if you
I've
don't
never
wear,
been able to do that.
so in the morning, instead of using mascara, just curl
okay.
your lashes and then
Okay.
fuse them together, and no one will know that you're not. I mean, they look
Okay.
so natural. You don't even need eyeliner. So great.
Okay.
Woohoo! You did it.